get game one underway to see how everything does pan out. But my main prediction here, John, is I think Kits is going to have the freest game of his life. Like, this mid Timber should have a very good game, as they are going to run into Braxy already. But Braxy's going to be able to walk out just fine. So maybe they assume there's a ward around here. There isn't, though. So maybe they waste a sentry. But nevertheless, like I was saying, I think the Timber's due for a very good game.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you're going to be able to contest Kits all too much. Mid lane matchup of Void Spirit versus Tim feels great for Timbersaw. The Void Spirit harass is really just usually just your right click, maybe a little bit from the Resonant Pulse and Remnant, but Kits is just going to be able to probably level Whirling Death and Reactive Armor and just not have any issues, not really caring about that physical shield on Steel, and just spam him down in lane. It's always a little bit awkward. Like, we've seen Timbersaws do this in a lot of melee matchups mid. Both Void Spirit and Ember just don't feel fantastic there. As you mentioned, they did waste a sentry, so the mid ward will stand for Alpha. That can give them a little bit more control. But I don't know. I don't think it's as big of a deal this game. Mainly because your Void Spirit has a Disruptor and an Undying that are your supports. Like, rotating mid with these two heroes, it's not particularly amazing. So I don't think you lose out on too much here for Kits to give that vision away to Alpha.
No, you don't. I mean, the supports are literally to do nothing in the mid lane. I highly doubt we'll see many rotations apart from filling the bottle from these two supports on Alpha. We'll see, though, as mid lane, of course, you're going to have Steel against Kits. I mean, the Void Spirit's still going to be pretty good in this matchup, just in terms of the CS, I think. But as the levels do go up on Kits, obviously this matchup is going to get a little bit more challenging for Steel. As you just saw, like, obviously the Resonant Pulse shield you get is not going to do anything against all the magic damage, or rather the pure damage that Kits can do here on the Timber. So still, again, as the levels go up, I think he's going to have to be very cautious here in this mid lane.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough once you get the level 2 reactive up. I don't think Steel can just burst through the Tim. Once he has that lane evolved, as we take a look elsewhere, First Blood does come out for Alpha. They do manage
Takai
to
is
run
in
down.
trouble. He has found Soldier at the least, but look at Fade. Like, Fade, sure, you get First Blood, and Alpha's going to be pretty happy about that. A very nice start for them. But you already got a bit of a glimpse as to what's going to happen in this laning phase, it seems, because Fade, once he gets a couple levels in Scorched Earth and it starts to do some real damage, like, Blessed Kid's going to have a hard time sticking around here against the Techies Doom, I think.
Again, it's down to your usage of Blade Fury. Like, you can save yourself every now and again, but every time it's down, it's an opportunity for the side of Felt to get aggressive with their own magical burst. And that's where the Jug really feels awkward. His mana pool is not the biggest to constantly juggle through Blade Fury uses and Healing Ward. So just a couple of spells cast and you're really susceptible in that lane. You can see just how much more they can get out here. We are taking a look up top where you do have Burna on the Terrorblade, along with Albino Zebra on the Lich up against Satoshi and Braxy on the Magnus Undying. Not quite the Disruptor Magnus lane, which can just keep setting up for Skewerbacks. I think this is a little bit less scary for Burna to come into. As long as he has the Metamorphosis up, he should always be able to harass out. It's been a slower start in his lane, but he hasn't popped the meta either. You do still have to respect that.
Kings were out onto the Lich for a moment. They saw the gaze being used up here by Albino. They wanted to try and make a jump in, because Braxy does have level 1 Tombstone. Level 2 timing on the Doom is extremely strong right now with the Blood Grenade. Especially with the Tombstone up, it's very hard for them to run. But they are not going to drop it. They aren't seeing the opportunity, especially with the Metamorphosis running on Hidden Immune. The pings are still coming. Braxy and Satoshi want to try and move in onto the TB. A Tombstone has been dropped. Gaze was not quick enough from Albino Zebra and Hidden Immune. He's going to be turning around for the Tombstone. It's not going to be enough. Albino Zebra will do so himself, but now he's in danger. So there's no mana on Braxy for that level 2 Decay to come out, but he turned around. That's a bit of a shame. I mean, nevertheless, he won't waste his time. I think it was too risky to go for the chase. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Fade going to be in a little bit of danger here on the Doom, but now the blast-off turnaround from Solji. Blessed Kid, he's going to be okay to survive through this. You kind of see the turnaround potential. Like, even with a level 2 Blade Fury, it's not really that safe to kind of make a jump in like that. And I do like the fact as well that the Doom has gone the speed aura with the Kobold being eating, because that extra speed it just allows you to get away from this Juggernaut spin.
That's the important bit, just getting distance between you and the Jug in that laning phase. So you manage to bail out. They aren't quite able to really fully look for the kills. And right now, as soon as Alpha hits 3 under 2 heroes, then you're fine. Level 2 Blade Fury is a little bit better to juggle around, although you still have to be mildly cautious.
Glimpse back on Fade is going to make sure he does remain alive on Blessed Kid. Solji, he thought about going for the blast off, but didn't believe he had the range for it, which I do believe he was a little bit short on that one, so doesn't bother wasting it. And now Blessed Kid, I mean, he's becoming very reliant on this healing ward, keeping him in lane. This is the third or fourth one we've seen so far already. Blessed Kid, as the techies, you have a really good time trying to snipe these healing wards, but Glimpse is there. They've got the techies held down this time, but Fade is going to intervene and jump in, and there goes your healing ward now as Takaya is being targeted. Blessed Kid is trying to reach somebody to help out, but now he's in danger. He does run his way out of this one, but they have lost Takaya and felt with their offlane. They're just doing a much better job, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're definitely keeping that Jug in check. Although, to be fair, Blessed Kid is still finding farm. You're not completely zoned out here on the Jug.
Oh. Yeah, Soldier messes up. Forgetting that the Disruptor is respawning. Does try to back off at the wrong moment, and sadly was underneath the creep wave vision, so does feed a kill back the way of Alpha.
You'll take the punishment here on the side of Alpha. And you're not suffering too bad in this lane, all things considered. Blessed Kid has been pretty on point with how he juggles his mana usage and protecting that healing ward to get max usage out of it. So he's still fighting farm. It's still a better time for this Jug in comparison to her Terrorblade, although equally maybe challenging for both sides. It does feel a little bit smoother for Blessed Kid. And
meanwhile, mid lane, the 6-minute power runes are coming here, John. They are jumping in. They want to try and at least pick off Albino Zebra, but it's actually Braxy that's dropping low on the Undying as he does go down, but eventually still does have his way with him. But still, he's out of step charges. Kitz is going to miss the Chakram, but he'll keep moving in. Blast off is going to land. They've lost the Void Spirit. As Solji needs some help with these zombies, Takaya now going to show up. Takaya, he might feed his own life away. Oh no. Now Braxy showing up. At least he does get Solji, but it just costs so much.
Yeah, it costs way too much. That was the one thing as well that I was going to say. The mid lane has been consistent for Felt, probably the most consistent lane in this game. It's just how much the Timbersaw is getting out in comparison to the Void Spirit. You might find Albino Zebra, perhaps, but just a little bit too tanky with that Frost Shield up. Not going to be able to burst down, and this is where the issues rise. You don't have a good solution for that Timbersaw.
Oh, still just... That is unfortunate. He had something. He had Astral Step. He could have walked away, but he, I guess he kind of underestimated the max whirling death damage.
He's gonna have to walk back to lane now as well. No teleport available. Level 7 up for Kits. Just gonna be able to take control here. Really, maybe you could get a decent chip damage onto that tier 1. Not too much, considering the wave is pretty much gone. But this is an awkward spot for Alpha. You rotate your 2 supports mid, so your side lanes are exposed. Blessed Kid already jungling. Same thing goes up top, though, for Burna, at the least. It's a free lane for Satoshi right now.
Albino Zebra. Glimpse is there. Still's going to try and jump in for an easy pick off, and he should be able to get it. But Kits is showing up, and Albino actually gets a gaze off. As Steel is still trying. He committed both his step charges.
Oh no.
Kits baited him into using both of them. And now he is as good as dead. As tips are out from Albino. Takaya also going to drop. That was a perfect back from Kits. He knew that Steel was waiting for the opportunity, and Albino Zebra gave him all the time in the world. So he backs off, forces the Astral Step to secure the kill, and then Kits immediately turns back around.
Yeah, this is not what you want to see for Alpha. It's very well executed from Felt. They're finding these openings. They're constantly dragging this attention onto the Timbersaw. while exposing, I mean, they're not getting too much taken away from the side lanes, to be fair, but this is not what you want to see. You've got your Doom in full recovery. Fade is getting a lot more from his lane, even though he's not looking for the kills anymore. Still up there in net worth. Maybe the one thing hurting for Felt is Burna. I think his lane up top solo, it's a little bit rougher for the Terrorblade. He is just jungling as best as he can. He's got the max level Conjure image, so it's not too bad, but certainly suffering a little bit more than the Jug. That is the trade-off for having the stronger start on kits. And to be fair, I feel like having this early start in Timbersaw is much more impactful anyway. Your Terrorblade's always just going to farm, so you don't really mind that delayed timing on the TB, as long as your Timbersaw gets to pop off and you have room for the Doom.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the TB is going to be fine, I think. You just... Hiramiya just hits the jungle. This is what the hero's been doing for the last 15, 20 years, it feels like, in the history of Dota. Lose lane, hit jungle, win game is the TB mantra. TP rotations are coming up top. They want to try and fight here against Satoshi and Braxy, who have not seen them coming. Doom immediately up by Fade. They'll try to drop a tombstone here. Sticky Bomb is not going to land onto the Magna, so he's still running, but Fade eventually should have his way with him, as that Scorched Earth damage proving to be a bit too much with the Doom. Meanwhile, Braxy also at least going to be able to TP out. But you've already got Satoshi. You defend the top tier 1 tower for a little bit longer. And Hiramiya gets to come back into the lane just for a little bit. So happy days with that rotation from Phil.
A little bit awkward for Alpha. Tokayo is planting some forward vision. He doesn't manage to rejoin his team by the tier 1 tower, so he couldn't get a glimpse play to perhaps try to stall out that death on Satoshi. Just leads to a bunch of freebies coming out for Felt. They do get the glimpse back now on Solji.
He's got blast off though. He should be okay to escape. In fact, he'll just move right back in. It's Takaya. He's trying to get the mines. He will not get it, but it won't matter because Solji does get killed off here by Takaya. Meanwhile, mid lane though, Braxy gonna drop. Kit's having the easiest kill of his life against the Undying. Does not care for the strength steal, of course. His Willing Death just takes care of that. And well, now the mid tier 1 tower is gone. Felt looking completely dominant here in this game 1 so far. All they're lacking right now is the farm on Hidden Immune, but even then, John, look at how well he's caught up. He's third in net worth at the moment. So I don't think it's going to take him too long to reach that top spot, if he can overtake the Doom, that is. But that is a Doom in his own team, so I don't think he's going to mind.
You certainly don't mind. You don't even mind being at farm parity with a Jug. Juggernaut just doesn't really deal with Terrorblade as a physical core. Again, the guy's steroid in terms of blade dance, it's not amazing damage. It's the most consistent crit, but it's not like a big bursty crit that you really want up against these high physical armor heroes. And the build that Blessed Kid is going for is a long haul build. He's trying to go for the full Battle Fury, which means you're not playing tempo. You know, you're not looking to group up, play with Healing Ward, try to get some good Omni Slash kills off. Instead, you're just gonna sit back and farm. And in that case, the Terrorblade just wins in this meta. You know, he clears the jungle a lot better with the Conjure images. He just has better scaling in the late game. I expected maybe something like the Maelstrom here for Blitzkid, because you could always just get him power. But doubling down on this long game, it doesn't feel amazing for Alpha. This does have me mildly concerned, Mike. If you had a Maelstrom at this point, you group up with your Mag when he gets his Echo Saber Harpoon. Like, just empower Jug, pull back the hero, spin on top of them. If you get a big RP, that's when you Omni Slash on with Empower again. It's not bad with a Maelstrom on, but Battle Fury is just, it's too passive for the Jug. Jug is like a hybrid carry that wants some activity early on.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Maelstrom works better anyway against high armor heroes like Doom and TB. And Timber for that matter. Like, all heroes, the Maelstrom probably would have proven to be a lot better than the Battle Fury this game for the Jug. But it looks like at the very least, Blessed Kid may be planning to have a pretty kind of slow, greedy game here on the Jug. And just hope for that really long build-up here with the Juggernaut. But I just don't think Felt are going to give them that time this game to allow him that really slow build-up here in the Jug at all. Judging by how the game started, like, they're already 5k ahead 12.5 minutes in. And with the Doom TB Timber, you really don't need to slow down very often.
No, you certainly don't. And even if you do, again, you scale pretty well here on the side of Felt. You have a lot of ways to itemize, to catch off guard. And it's a little bit concerning that Alpha do want to try to go long haul on this draft. Granted, again, it's not the worst thing in the world. Once you hit these timings on Satoshi, you threaten with Harpoon, you threaten with Blink. The Magnus is a hero that does scale pretty well, but again, your hard carry situation is a little bit awkward for the side of Alpha. Still, see if it pays off. A 5k lead early on here for Felt at 13 minutes in. Pretty significant coming out. Granted, that is you with a Doom, but still enough that it feels a little bit awkward for Alpha at the moment. You at least have the Echo Saber up for steal, so you've got a little bit more coming out on your Void Spirit. The steps feel a lot more impactful coming into it. Inside of Felt, though, I mean, they just smoke up. They have Doom off cooldown. They can just run up. They've got the Midas ready as well on Fade, and he is going for a fast Crimson. You have a lot of solutions here.
They do. They're heading right towards the Magnus. Solji, though, has his smoke broken on Takaya, who still hasn't realized he did not see the techies coming in. At the very least, it is Takaya that is set to fall, though he does kind of use his Static Storm, and now the Mag gets caught out. Oh, Satoshi! He just walked in the most obvious way. I thought maybe he'd take the long way around, go towards the Wisdom Rune, because it was 14 minutes coming anyway. But he went right down the bot lane, and he gave them an extra kind of prize.
At the least, I guess the silver lining for Alpha is that they do get to clear out their ancient stacks with that fresh Battle Fury on Blessed Kid. They will lose another tier 1 tower though, which makes accessing future Wisdom Runes a lot easier, makes it a little bit more awkward for you to try to farm in that northern part of the map right now for the side of Alpha. And now you have to contend with Fade having that full Crimson Guard up. I love this build on the Doom, just going for the Aura, having the Arcane Boots, looking to run around with a Speed Aura, just not changing that neutral creep passive he picked up, and just being active for the team. Because you do want to play it fast. You want to press this advantage, buy space out for Burna, try to punish Alpha for going for the slower play. This is exactly how you do it on the Doom. Crimson Guard up, what are you going to do? You're all physical damage right now.
Jump in. They've at least got Solji held down, though Solji is surviving with the mech up. He won't even die. And the skewer does end up missing, of course, which does kind of allow them to get Solji out of there, but it's just tough. Like, even without the frost shield coming in from Albino Zebra, he just pops the mech and survives. That's pretty yikes here for Alpha.
Yeah, it's looking rough for Alpha. It's very far away from smooth sailing right now. Could have been a nice opportunity to at least find a pickoff, but you can't even nail the techies. That's not a good feeling for the side of Alpha. At the least, again, this is space for Blessed Kid. He's going SNY. I appreciate the stat resist. I appreciate a little bit more of that move speed to chase down with a spin. A little bit more damage coming out. Maybe some disassembly plays down the line, although Jug doesn't feel like the best disassembly hero. I'm not too sure about this, though. Like, your hyper investment on the Jug. With SNY, that means you're still waiting for more.
Well, Alpha, they're going to smoke up here. They're going to try and make some more space here for their Jug. And the smoke not really leading to too much, though, so still. It's going to go back to farming the mid-wave. Just kind of reveals the smoke was happening in the first place, so... Yeah, just a bit of an awkward smoke here from Alpha. And they do split up and try to get some wards down at least. So Takaya try to get some D wards off, but now he's going to be spotted placing some observer wards and sentries, so the chase is immediately on. And well, sadly for him, he does give away some wards here to Albino Zebra now. Never even getting the sentry ward, so Felt don't even need to commit a sentry to get that free obs. Albino Zebra, I'm sure he's very happy to take that free gold.
Nice chunk of gold. Always feels good for the Lich, who tends to be pretty farm starved. You are doing pretty decently here on Albino Zebra. You are above both supports on the side of Alpha, which again is not the best signs for Alpha. Like, you're at the point here for Braxy. Has the Pavis, only has the Boots of Speed. Is inching towards the Arcanes, but as in Undying, this is not a good feeling when you can't even get your arcanes up. Like, it's 17 and a half minutes. And you just don't have the room. You don't have the presence. You don't have the kills to let you build into these items to, you know, just spam your spells, sustain your team, provide some durability and softening up on the EHP. And that's just the story for Alpha. Every single hero just feels like it's a little bit off. They're just not able to coordinate together. And I mean, Felt, they're just in control. They can go for a push if they want to. They will shove in the bot tier 2. Kits, he's almost at his full Ags. There's nothing here to dispel that reactive armor active as well. You're just going to be hyper durable in these fights.
Yeah, they are. Hiddenmune's almost got the Eye of Skadi completed on the TB, and that's going to be his pretty big power spike on the Terrorblade. They are going to smoke up. Lines being drawn towards the top lane for Filt, so they want to head right towards that tier 2 top tower and try to find a bit of a fight here against Alpha, who might just realize this is happening. So they have backed their way out. So the tier 2 top tower will stay standing. I can't say the same for Takaya, though, who may just get caught here on the Disruptor, and he is gone. Fade also saw the Undying, so the chase is on immediately from Fade. Braxy's going to try for the TP play out, and he's going to make it.
Satoshi.
But Satoshi, he's the big target. This is the one you'd much prefer to take down, and Satoshi is gone. No chance of survival. No skewer available. And now Roshan, it's completely open here for the side of Phil.
Albino Zebra has just been on point with Lich. Getting the chase down he needs, finding the gaze at all the big heroes that keep trying to bail out. He's making this Lich look like a really busted hero. Just having that wave interrupting the channeling spells, and with a Rosh under their belt with a secondary life on the line. I don't see Alpha taking 2 lives away from Berta unless he's completely isolated somehow. You are free to do what you want on Felt. Their timings are lining up. Their aggression's been on point. Their optimization's been extremely on point. Fade now having the Octarine on the Doom with the Midas and the Crimson Guard. Like his uptime on aggression's just there. There's not much to stop him from just looking for a target, dooming out, and even if you don't find that kill, you know you'll have that spell off cooldown relatively shortly. The cooldown reduction on such a long spell is really impactful. And Alpha, again, it's down to this itemization. It's down to these choices. Like, you want to play slower because you went Battle Fury Jug. Blessed Kid does have the full Sanj and Yasha. That's not going to be enough. He is going for the MKB next. Preempting maybe the Butterfly on Burna, but I don't know. It's like, all right, you get the MKB up. How exactly you're gonna how are you just gonna run up and try to Omnislash here? It's not a smooth process.
It certainly isn't. Tormentor going to be taken away from the Radiant. There is the Die one available though if they do want to take it, but Alpha, they are starting to need to maybe defend this this top lane of Barracks as Felder just going in with the Metamorphosis up. They are not slowing down whatsoever. Keep in mind, you do now have the Ags up on your Timbersaw as well, so it's not going to be the easiest of fights here with the reactive armor buff of the Ags. So they do just go into the tier 3. Skewer is there, but onto Kits of all things, it's... yeah, that's probably the last target you can really deal with at the moment. Still Braxy, he pops the Flesh Golem. He wants to try and move in. Tombstone there as well. Fade immediately just casually walking up to the Tombstone, and so will Hiddenmune as the Tombstone is just gone, and now the Doom is out. They got the Magnus caught down. Satoshi, he's going to try to run, but there's no chance. He's gone. Blessed Kid, I mean, he's looking to maybe go for an Omni Slash, but I don't think he'll have any damage. And they're all basically just stacked up anyway. As Kit's again being jumped on, he's going to be fine. Meanwhile, still trying to get a bit of a jump here onto the Timber. Kits, though, again proving to be way too tanky as now the Omni comes out, bouncing between Fade and Solji. It does no damage. Blessed Kid needs to get out of there, will do so, but now Takai has been caught out. This is all but while a tier 2 mid tower is still standing, by the way. They don't even have a creep wave.
They just dive, you know, they take a full set up top. They don't care if mid still stands. You find these kills. You see what the Omni Slash does in this game? Like, it does absolutely jack
Steel.
shit, to be fair.
What's your language, Jonathan? Steel?
I mean,
He's going to be
Crimson
okay
Court,
to get out of there.
it just counters the hero. Your base damage isn't amazing. Your agi gain isn't up there at the top. So your base damage is just not great, which means your blade dance doesn't crit for much because it only uses base damage. They get the skewer back here.
That's a better skewer. They've got Fade. He's actually a killable target. I say that with the Crimson Guard and Frost Shield up, he's taking no damage. Lost half his HP initially, but as soon as he pops the Crimson with the Frost Shield from Albino Zebra, all that damage just disappeared. There's another skewers there, but
Okay.
that's really the target you don't want, though they are trying their absolute best. But look at this, John. There's
barrier.
nothing happening.
That barrier kills me. It's just ridiculous. There's no dispel. There's no way to remove it. It's there's no way to just magically burst. Like if you had literally one nuking hero, you'd be okay here. But you just don't. You went all in on Fizz and it's just not paying
Oh,
off.
Fade.
Have we seen
He got
RP at
harpooned in.
all?
He just dooms the Magnus. He got skewered in, John. I'm not skewered, harpoon, sorry. And he just doomed. Said, thank you very much. I'll take your life. And now felt, it's
They
GG.
called?
Yeah. You have to. What are you going to do against this team of Felt? Like the draft.
Literally nothing.
You saw it as soon as you saw the draft, right, from Alpha. It was just like, this Juggernaut, it's not the pick. You know, and then you look at the mid matchup, the Void Spirit versus Timber. That